started what? Power Query. Yesterday's class is class 1. And yesterday I discussed about Power Query introduction. And then we discussed about Power Query user interface. And then we discussed about data processing. So that is class 1. And today's class is class 2. First, we will talk today about what? Data types. Let's try to understand what is this data types today. To discuss this, open Power BI desktop software. Click on blank report and go to Power Query first. Go to Home tab, click on what? Transform data. It will take to Power Query. Bring some tables to the Power Query first. Click on New Source Excel. Sample Superstore. Click on Open. I'll bring the orders table. Only orders table. I'll bring it for now. Click on OK. Let's bring EMP DEPT managers table also. Select another Excel. From here, I'll bring EMP table, DEPT table, and managers table. Press OK. Okay. So once you get the tables, so we know that in the fourth step, Power Query will change the data type. When you are in the third step, every column will have what data type when you are in the third step? Any data type. It is not recommended to have the data type of the column as any. From the third step to fourth step, what Power Query will do is, Power Query will read the data in each column. Based on the data, it will change what? Data type. So there are worst cases. Power Query will not perform this fourth step. There are worst cases. Power Query will not perform what? Fourth step. When Power Query is not performing the fourth step, let's delete the fourth step. When you delete the fourth step, every column will have what data type now? There are mostly, it will perform that fourth step also. Worst case, it will not perform. Just imagine in the table, it is not performing change data. Sales column may have what data type? Any. So there are sometimes when I have any data type, you will load the tables into PowerPoint. When I click on close and apply, the tables will load into a PowerPoint. Now, without giving the proper data types to the column, I loaded which table? Orders table. I loaded the orders table. When I go here and I check the orders table, so when I go to sales column, what is the data type you got here is when I select the sales column, go to column tools, data type. What is the data type you got? Text. Keep in mind one point. If the data type in the Power Query is any, just imagine you have the data in Power Query data type as what? Any. When you load into Power Pivot will take it to what? Text. Now, okay, so you go and see every column will have what data type. Order date also have what data? Text. Now my client is asking to create one visual here and asking to show what is the total sales. I'm taking one card visual, going to orders table, and dragging which column? Sales. When I drag the sales, when I go here, do I see sum option here? So someone tell me why it is not showing sum of sales here. Data is in the text. Text values you cannot sum.
Type. Yes.
Data type. So only which data type can sum? Number data.
Number data type.
That is the reason it is not showing sum of sales here. If you want to show sum of sales, first we need to have a proper data types to the sales column. Where we can give the proper data types is you need to do it in Power Query. Any transformations you need to do, any cleaning you need to do in Power Query. Just a second, guys. Where you need to do? In the Power Query. I'll just show you. Fine. Let's see. I just want to go to where? Power Query. Just go to transform data and go to Power Query. I need to change the data type to the column now. How can you change the data type to the column is first let me change it to sales column. Go to sales column. Beside the column, you will see a button. When I click on the button, you can see list of data types available. Based on the data you have in the column, we need to pick the right one. When I go here, it have decimal numbers. What is the data type? Decimal number is the data type. When I click on decimal number, now what is the data type you got? Decimal number previously. And you change to decimal number. Go and click on what? Close and apply. When I click on close and apply, now go and check here. Sales column you are seeing the data in the table view and you select sales column tools. What is the data type now? Is it the correct data type now? Yes. Is it possible to show sum of sales now? Go and look at this number. Do I see sum now? Yes. When I select sum, is it showing sum of sales? Yes. Data type is important to do lot of operations. Now I want to show year-wise sales. Is it possible to show year-wise sales now? It's not possible. What is the data type you have? Text. Do you see year column here? No. When you will see year is when you change it to date and time or data. Go to Power Query. What do you need to do now? Go to orders table, select order date. What is the data type you need to choose? Date. It don't have time component. That is the reason I want to select what? Date. But I go and click on close and apply. Now, order date have what data type? When I select order date, when I go to column tools, what data type you have? Date. Is it possible to show year-wise sales now? Means yes. You have year. Yes. If it is a date, then only it will show this year, quarter, month, day, all this. You will understand that. So here, data type is important. There are worst cases, as I said, it will not do the fourth step. When it is not doing the fourth step, every column will have what data type? Any developer need to change the data type now. Let me quickly tell you how to change the data type. There are many ways to change the data type. I'll tell you one by one. What is this data type? First, let me start with the definition of data type. What is the definition for data type is data type represents type of information stored in the column. Type of information stored in the column. Type of data or type of information stored in the column. So when you have a data type as number, we can tell that that column have number values, right? If you go to EMP table for high date, what is the data type you have? Date. It will tell us this column have what values? Date values. If you go to employee name, what is the data type? Text. It will tell us this column have what values? Text. When I go to salary, what is the data type? Whole number. Salary column have what values? Whole number. Data type will tell us what type of information is available in that column. Okay, that is the definition. Now, whenever we don't have proper data types, we need to change it. One way to change it is select the column, click on the button. You can see list of data types. You can change it. That is one way. Second way is right click on the column. Again, you will find what? Change type. Here also you will see same data types. What you will see when I click on this button, same thing you will see here also. Either one is fine. Not only this place and this place. There are other ways also. Other way, go to home tab, click on what? Data type. You will see all the data types here also. Row ID, what data type you need to select? Whole number. This is another way. Another way is go to transform tab. Go to data type. Here also you'll find all the data types. Anywhere it is same. Whether you do it in home tab, whether you do it in transform tab, whether you click on the button and change it, whether right click, change data type, change type, all are one and the same. You change it wherever you like. So go here, and what is the one I need to select? Whole number. Let me tell you full points. So here, there are broadly three data types, guys. First one is number data type. Which one? Number data type, which can allow only numeric information. Which can allow what? Numeric information only. Number data type cannot allow other data. It will allow only number data. Next one, take date data type. Which one? Date data type, which will allow only date information. Which information? Date information. And the last data type is text. I'm just telling mostly having data types. Next one is what? Text data type. Text data type can allow any type of information. Any type of information. This is important here. Number data type can allow only what? Number. Date will allow what? Date. But text will allow what? Any type of information. If you have the data type of the column as text, can I enter 1, 2, 3 in it? Yes, you can enter. It will allow what? Any type of. Can I enter ABC? Yes, it will allow. Can I enter special characters? Yes, it will allow. Can I enter 1A star? Yes, it can allow what? Any type of information. Now you guys tell me here for order ID, what is the data type I need to choose? Which one will support? Can I go and give number? Text. When I give whole number, what it is giving? Error. Why? Because it's I said that number data can allow only numbers. Only numbers. But this column have what? Numbers, text, special characters. Which data type can support?
Yeah.
Text.
Like
You need to go
text.
text. Is it giving error now? No.
No.
So order date, what is the data type?
Date.
Date. Ship date, what is the data type? Date. Like this, we can change it. Let me tell you another best way to change the data type of all the columns at once. How can you change all the columns data type at once is Control A. Control A will select what? All columns. Then go to where? Transform tab. And in the transform tab, we need to click on what? Detect data type. Click on what? Detect data type. Select all the columns and click on detect data type. In the transform tab, when I click on detect data type, it will read all the columns. It will read all the data and it will change the data type. So again, this one you don't need to manually detect data type will read the data in each column. Based on the data we have, it will change the data type. So click on detect data type. Now go and see every column will get the data type. Row ID got what data type? Is it correct? Order ID got what data type? Text. Order date got what data type? Date. Ship mode got what data type? Text. So you go and select any column. Product ID got what data type? Text. Sales got decimal number. So like this, I remove the step. Now every column have any data type. How to change the data type? I said Control A, click on detect data type. Detect data type. Fine. This is how. Just a second, guys. Just a second. Right. Let's start. We understand how to change the data type, right? What is data type? What are the different ways we have to change the data type? We understand. There are worst cases if you don't find data type of the columns. You should be in the position. I just mute it, guys. It's not breaking. I just mute it. So I just tell it how to change the data type. For some reasons, if you don't find data types to the columns, you change it. Okay, fine. Once after the data types, what is the next topic is what? Filters in Power Query. Let's see what this filters is. In Power Query, there is one topic with a name called what? Filters. There is one topic with the name called filters. Let's see what is this filters. Right? Understand? So in general data terminology, what is the definition for filters? If you want to know in data terminology, what is filters is from complete data to show subset of data, we will use which one? Filters. When we will use filters? From complete data to show subset of data, we will use what? Filters. Let's say what is the meaning is I have 20 years data. From 20 years data, I need to show how many years data is 2 years. How many years? 2 years. How can you show from 20 years data 2 years? Using filters. Using, let's say I have 4 regions data. Out of 4 regions, I need to show one region data. What you need to use? Filters. So let's say this 20 years is nothing but complete data. 2 years is nothing but what? So from complete data to show subset of data, we'll use what? Filters. Such kind of filters concept is available in where? Power Query. When to use Power Query filters, I'll tell you now. When to use Power Query filters is there are sometimes when a client provided the data in the source. Just imagine my client provided in the Excel one table called orders table. Which table? Orders table. That orders table have 4 regions data. How many regions? 4 regions data. Now what my client is asking is orders table have 4 regions data. What my client is asking is, so out of 4 regions in the visuals, they're asking to show only central data. What data? Central data. Now, there are two ways to do that. Excel file contains how many regions? 4 regions. I'll tell you 2 ways. You need to tell what is the best way. So all the visuals required what data? Central. Now I'll tell you 2 ways. You need to tell what is the best way. First way is bring the orders table to a Power Query. And in Power Query itself, you have filters, filter the data, and load only one region. How many regions? One region. Show that one region data in where? Visuals. That is one way. First way. What is the second way is bring the orders table to Power Query, load as it is into Power Query. Load as it is into what? Power Query. When you load as it is into Power Query, how many regions it will load? All 4 regions. After loading that 4 regions, in Power View also you have which concept? Filters. Use this Power View filters and show only central data. And show what? In the first scenario, I'm filtering in where? Power Query. In second scenario, I'm filtering in where? Power View. Which one is best? First one is best or second one is best?
Second
Why
one.
first one is best?
Second one. Second one.
Power view. Oh, we can give like four.
We no need to
different
go
data
and
to-
prep again.
Let me finish here. We can give that the managers are based on the different locations like central and south and north and regions are there,
Read
right?
about that managers, all this.
No, I'm
Question I
generally
ask
telling.
is just I want to filter.
The
I want to
second-
show only central data in the report. Whether I need to filter that in Power Query or Power
Power view.
Power
When you do it
query,
in, when you do it in Power Query, what advantage you will get?
because Power Pivot having limited space.
Fine. So this time, better to filter the data in the Power Query only, correct? What are the advantages you will get? Let me explain, guys. So filters concept is available both in where? Power Query and Power View. If there is any possibility, we need to filter the data in where? Power Query only. There are some cases it is not possible to filter the data in Power Query, then only we need to filter in where? Power View. I'll tell you that. If there is a minimum possibility to filter the data in the Power Query, better to filter in where? Power Query. Let me tell you, in what scenarios, just concentrate, within few minutes you'll get the clarity. In what scenarios we need to filter the data in Power Query, in what scenarios filter, in Power BI filters concept is available in 2 places, Power Query as well as what? Power View. Now I'll tell you when to use Power Query filters and Power View filters. So if there is any minimum possibility, where is the best place to filter is in Power Query. Advantages of filtering the data in Power Query. Advantages of what? Filtering data in Power Query. What is the first advantage you will get is you will save space in Power Query. You will save what? Space in Power Query. See, if you filter the data in Power View, how many regions data you want to load? 4 regions. If you filter the data in Power Query, how many regions you need to load? Only one region. Now, will you save the space in Power Query? Yes, that is the first one. That is the first advantage. Second advantage is you will not only save space in the Power Pivot, report performance will increase. Which one will increase? Report performance will increase. When you filter the data in Power Query, report performance will increase. How report performance will increase? Let's see. How report performance will increase? I'll show you. When you filter the data in Power Query, how the report performance will increase is. So try to understand. In the first scenario, how many regions data you are loading? Only one. First scenario, one region. That one region straightforward you are showing in where? Visuals or reports, right? In second scenario, 4 regions you are loading and you are applying what? Filter and you are showing one region, right? So in the second scenario, every time when a client open the report always take the data from Power Pivot. Always take the data from where? Power Pivot. When you open the report in the second scenario, how many regions it will take? 4. And it will apply what? Filters. And it will show what? Data. Every time when the client open the reports or visuals will take the data from Power Pivot. Never don't think that reports and visuals will store the data. They never store the data. They always take the data from where? Power Pivot. If you, in the first scenario, it will take one region data and it will show it. It is fast. In second scenario, it take 4 regions, apply filters in the runtime, and show the result. Will it take time or not? Yes, sir. So that is what when advantage of filtering the data in Power Query is you save what? Space in Power Query. Report performance will what? Increase. That is the two advantages you have. So first try to understand this point. So if you go to orders table now, in the orders table, how many regions data I have is 4 regions. So when I go and click on close and apply, how many regions it will load? All 4. If you go and see region column, how many regions are there? 4. When I go and take one card visual, let's take one card visual. When I drag the sales, how many region sales you are seeing? 4 region sales. But you want to show only what here? Central. To show central, you are in the report view. Here also you have what? Filter. These filters are Power Query filters or Power View filters? These filters are Power Query or Power View filters?
Power view
Power View
filters.
filters.
Power View.
Report view is
Power
nothing
View.
but what? Power View. That Power
Power
View
View.
filters these are. Go to Power View filters. Drag the region column. Select which region?
Central.
Central. Now in the visual you are showing what? Central. But the problem is you loaded how many regions data?
4
4
regions.
regions which have how many rows? 994 rows. And you save the report. You publish the report. You share this report with the client. When you share the report with the client, when client open, it will take how many regions? 4 regions. It will apply filter and it will show filtered data. It takes some time. Taking all the regions, filtering, showing will take time. Instead of doing filtering in Power View, I'll go to where? Power Query. Go to where? Power
Power
Query. In Power Query also you have a concept called what? Filters. How to filter the data in Power Query is we need to filter the data in which column? Region. Go to the region column and click on this expand button to apply the filter. When I click on expand button, you have a place where we can apply filter. Which region I want? Central. When I press OK, it is showing what?
Central.
Region equal central. Click on what?
Close and
Close and
apply.
apply. How many regions data it will load now?
Only one
Only
region.
one region data. When I go and check this orders table, you have only what data? Central. How many rows you have now? 2323. Previous scenario? 994 rows. And now when I go and take one card visual, when I go and drag the sales, how many region sales it will show?
Only
Only
one.
one region. How much it is? 501.
501.4.
Now in this way, what you are doing, previously you load 994 records. Now you are loading only what? 2323. Will it save the space or not?
Yes.
Second scenario is when client open the visual, it will take one region data and it will directly show. It no need to do what? Any filtering in the runtime.
Correct.
So these are the advantages you'll get if you try to filter the data in which software? Power Query.
Okay.
But so that filtering is available both in where? Power Query.
Query and Power
Power
View.
View.
Let me explain.
Power View.
Online people, please be on. Let me explain when to use Power Query filters and when to use Power View filters. I'll tell you. So take an example. Carefully observe. You have a data source. The data source have 4 regions data. How many regions? So using the data source, generally client will ask you to create multiple reports. Tomorrow when you join in the company will provide what? Data source, and they will ask you to create what? Multiple reports. Can I create the reports directly on data source? No. No. So what you will do? To create the reports, you need to create a semantic model. You need to create what? Semantic model. So semantic model is nothing but OLAP database. Nothing but what? That OLAP database generally we will use to create multiple reports, guys. You will understand this. Don't worry. Generally, in a Power BI project, company will provide the data source. Using the data source, we'll create a single OLAP. Using that single OLAP, we'll go and create what? Multiple reports. That you will understand in the upcoming classes. Okay. Now, take an example.
Sunil sir,
In all my
can you repeat
reports.
the point? Sorry for the interrupt. Can you repeat the points again?
Okay. Concentrate, guys. Concentrate. So here, my client provide what? Data source. And that data source might be anything. Excel or SQL Server or whatever it is. They're asking to create what? Can we create reports on data source? No. So I said that data source contains raw data or unstructured data. We don't create reports. To create the reports, we need what? OLAP. That OLAP we will use it generally to create what? In the projects, we generally create only one OLAP database. That one OLAP database, we'll use it to create what? Multiple reports. How we will do that in the upcoming classes, you will understand. For now, remember this theoretically. Okay. But requirement is now in all the reports, client is asking to show only central data. So I'm creating a lot of reports, all the reports client expecting to see what? Central data. Now you guys tell me, while bringing the data to the OLAP, will you bring 4 regions data or central data only? Only central data is sufficient. Why? Because all reports require what? Central data. You can bring only what data here? Central. So when data source contains 4 regions data, if you want to load only central data into Power Pivot, OLAP will be created in where? Power Pivot. But into Power Pivot, you need to load only what? Central data. Now where you need to apply filter now? Power Query. You need to apply filter in where? Power Query, and you need to load only what data? Central. In this scenario, we need to load only data in where? Only data for what? Central. Why? Because all my reports required what? Central data. That is the reason I am bringing only central data. This time we will apply filters in where? In Power Query. In this scenario, you can apply the filters in Power. Let me tell you second scenario.
Hello, sir. If a client is asking for only the central data, then while loading, why we are loading the 4 regions data from the
Where I
data
am
source
loading 4
only?
regions data.
Yeah, but data source, why we are getting that 4 regions data? Only one region we can get, na? If the client is asking central only, na? We can here itself, load the data for the central only in the data source.
This data
Why
source
we
you
are
are not only the one you use, ma'am. This data source will be used for other purpose also. Companies will store their business data in where? Some data source. Some data source. Take an example. They don't store only one region data. They'll store all the regions data. Don't think about this. This is not in our control. I said that your company provided what? Data source which have what? 4 regions. It is not your choice. It's company's choice.
okay.
They are doing the business in all the 4 regions, and they'll get what? 4 regions data and store it in some data source. Don't think much about this data source. This is not in our control. Who will provide this? Company will provide that. Company is providing this data source which contains what? 4 regions data. For now, just think that it have 4 regions. You cannot go and ask why you are providing 4 regions. I need only central data in report. Give central data. They given 4 regions. Fine. Now, this is the first scenario. In this scenario, we'll apply the filters in where? Power Query. We'll apply the filters in where? Yes. So any questions are there? Please make a note of the questions. We'll discuss the questions at the end, guys. Please. Okay. Let me tell you in what scenario we need to apply the filters in Power View. Take an example. Data source. My company provided data source which contains what? 4 regions data. And so using that data source, client is asking to create what? Multiple reports. But in the report 1, they're expecting to see what data? Central. In report 2, they're expecting what? East. In the report 3, they're expecting what? West. They're expecting report 4, South. Let's say South. Now I want to create multiple reports using what? OLAP. So all these reports I'll create using OLAP. Now each report required what? Different data, right? Now you tell me from data source to OLAP, will you need to bring only central data or 4 regions data? 4 regions data.
4 regions.
After getting the 4 regions data into the OLAP, this OLAP you will use it for creating what? Report 1. While creating the report 1, we need to apply the filters in Power View. Where we need to apply? Filters in the Power View. And you need to show only what data? Central. While creating report 2 also, you need to take the data and you need to again apply the filter in Power View and you need to show what data is data. So here, this time the requirement is in multiple reports, they need to see different regions data. What data? Different regions data. Previously in all reports, they want to see what? Central data. Now the different reports require different regions data. In that scenario, into the OLAP, we need to bring what data? 4 regions data. 4 regions data. Into the OLAP, we need to bring 4 regions data. That 4 regions data, after bringing, we will use that OLAP to create reports. So while creating report 1, you need to show only what data? Central. When you take the data from this OLAP, how many you will get? 4. But you need to show in the visual what? Only 1. Then you need to apply filter in where? Power View. You will understand this scenario in detail when we talk which classes? Power View classes. That time you will understand. But today, you try to understand only at a high level. When to apply filters in where? Power Query. When to apply filters in where? Power View. Apply filters in where? Sorry, Power View. When to apply the filters in where? Power View.
Power View.
I hope you got the idea. If there is minimum possibility, you need to try always with filter data in where? Power Query to get the advantages of what? Saving space in Power Query and improving return. There are cases, in these cases, not possible to filter the data in where? Power Query. Now, can I go and filter the data in Power Query? No. No. So, why? Because each report required a different region data. While bringing the data, I need to bring all data. You cannot filter in Power Query. This time, no problem. If not possible, then you will do it in where? But keep in mind, in the Power BI projects, who will provide this data source? Company. Who need to create this OLAP? Developer. How many OLAPs will create? I said single OLAP. Using that single OLAP, you will create what? That is general architecture. You will understand in the upcoming classes practically. Fine. So we got some idea. What is the use of filters? Let me write you when to use filters in Power Query. I'll just write you right here when to use what? Filters in Power Query. When to use the filters in Power Query, I'll just tell you guys now. Right here, when to use filters in Power Query. When data source contains complete data. Data source contains what? Complete data. And if we need to load subset of data into Power Pivot, we need to load what? Subset of data into where? Power Pivot. Then we will use what? Then we will use filters in Power Query. What is the requirement? Data source contains what? Complete data. You need to load only what? Subset of data into where? Power Query. Then we need to use filters in where? Power Query. Here, in this scenario, data source contains 4 regions data, but all my reports required only what? Central. Into Power Pivot, you need to bring central data or all 4 regions data? Only central. My data source contains 4 regions, but into Power Pivot, I need to load only 1 region. Then where I need to apply filters? Power Query. That's what I written here. When data source contains complete data, and if you want to load subset of data into Power Pivot, then we will use filters in Power Query. Okay, let's see that in practical now. We can filter the data in Power Query in 2 ways. We can filter the data in Power Query. How many ways? Means 2 ways. What are the 2 ways we can filter? Is first one is basic filtering. First one is what? Basic filtering. Second one is what? Advanced filtering. Advanced filtering. Let me tell you what is the basic filtering and advanced filtering. So let's go to Power Query first. Let's say go to orders table. I want to filter the data based on region column. I'll go to region column and I go here. See here, search bar. Below the search bar, it comes under basic filtering area. Which area? Text filters, and this options comes under advanced filtering area. Which one? Advanced. So when basic filtering will work is for only equal to conditions. Which conditions? Equal to. You can do it in where? Basic. When it is other than equal to, we need to do it in where? Advanced. Advanced, you can write all the conditions. Basic, you can write only what? Equals to. Let's take an example. I want to show, I want to keep only the orders which are coming region equal to central. Region equal to what? Central. What is the condition I need to apply? Equals to. Equals to, can I do in basic? Yes. Go to region and you can unselect all the regions. Select what? Central. Just press what? Okay. It write what? Region equal to central. It is writing a filter condition region equal to central. Let's take an example. I have a customers table. In the customers table, I have customer names, which starts with A, starts with B, C till what? Z. A, B, C till Z. Now, my requirement is I want to show only customer name starting with A. I don't want to show B to Z. I want to see here only customer name starting with what? A. I don't want to show B to Z. I want to filter them. Can you do in basic? Tell me guys. Can I do in basic? No. It's not equal to condition. It's what?
No.
Starts with. It's what? Starts with. I cannot go on doing basic. Now I need to go with what? Text filters. Begins with what? Begins with A. Press OK. Begins with A. Press OK. You are seeing customers only starting with A or not? Let's take an example. I have a sales column. I want to keep only the orders whose sales amount is more than 100. Sales amount is what? More than 100. Can I do in basic filtering? No. Basic filtering can write what? Only equal to. If it is other than equal to, go to where? Number filters. You need to go to advanced filters. Go here. So search bar and below search bar comes under what? Basic. When you need to go with basic, only equal to. If it is anything other than equal to, better to go with what? Advanced. Go here. Text filters. If you want to load only the orders which are greater than 100 means greater than, you can select what? 100. You can see only the orders which are greater than sales value greater than 100 or not. Yes, sir. So in the basic, we can write only which condition? Equal to condition. In the advanced, you can write every condition. You can even write what? Equal to. Whatever you can do in the basic, that also you can do it in where? Advanced. Previously, if you remember, to show region equal to central, I do in basic, right? To show region equal to central, I do in where? Basic. Now when I go here, you do basic. Even you can do in where? Advanced. Text filters, I can choose what? Equals to what? Central. When I press OK, are you getting the same step again? Yes, sir. That's what. Whatever you can do in where? Basic. That you can do with what? Advanced. Whatever I can do in advanced, can I do in basic? No. Remember that point. If there is any possibility, try with filtering the data using basic. If basic will not work, try with what? Advanced. We'll understand, guys. Here, so these filtering options will change based on the data type of the column. The filtering options are not same for all the columns. If you go to the text column, if you go to advanced filters, what are the options you see? Read it. Equals to, does not equals to, begins with, does not begins with, ends with, does not ends with, contains, does not contains. And if you go and look at the number column, advanced filtering options for number column, will it the same or different? Different. Greater than, equal to, less than, or equal to, between. And if you go and look at the date column, 3 types of columns will have: number, text, data. When I even go to the date column, will it be same or different? You have a lot of options which are different. So we'll as the options are different for data type, each data type column, what we will try to do is we'll try to understand this filtering option one by one column. First, so filtering options, advanced filtering options are different for each data type column. Or what? Different for what? Each data type column. For number column, you'll see different advanced filtering options. Date column, you'll see different options. Today, I'll try to explain filtering the data on number data type columns. Today, we will try to understand filtering data on what? In the next 20 minutes, 25 minutes, we'll try to understand how to filter the data on what? Number data type columns. In tomorrow's class, you will learn how to filter the data on text data type column. Which column? Text. In tomorrow, you'll not only understand text column, you will even understand what? Date column. So separately, I'll give some examples. Today, only number data type. Tomorrow, text and date. Tomorrow also completely we'll talk about what? Filters. Filtering is important. Lot of times, your company will provide the complete data in the data source. But you need to load only some. Let's take an example. I have a SQL server where you have a sales table. Which table? Sales table. It have 20 years data. How many years data? Yes. 20 years data. But in all my visuals, client is asking to show last 2 years data. How much data? Last 2 years data. Who want 20 years back data? So they want to understand only last 2 years data in the visual. Now you tell me into Power Pivot, do you want to bring 20 years data or 2 years data? Okay. 2 years data. Lot of times it happens in the real time. When company provided the data in the data source, you might have complete data, but you don't want to show all the data in where? reports. That time we need to bring only data which is required for analysis purpose into Power Pivot. Now where we need to apply the filter, bring the 20 years data to where? Power Query. Apply the filter here and load it only what? 2 years data into Power Pivot. So lot of scenarios we will filter the data. Every project must and should you will do filtering in where? Power Query. So I said that OLTPs might have all the business data, but into Power Pivot we need to load only data required for what? Analysis. From this complete business data, we need to load only data required for what? Analysis. That time you will use lot of filtering. Okay. So let's start this now. So first, today, as I said, I want to give simple examples how to filter the data on number column. Go here. So let's take an example. You have an employee table. In employee table, currently I have department number. Department number is what data type? Number data type, which have department number 10, 20, 30, and 50. 10th department, 3 employees are there. 20th department, 5 employees are there. 30th department, 6 employees are there. 50th department, 1 employee. Total 15 employees are there. Total 15 employees are there. My requirement is now, I want to show only 10th department employees in this table. I want to filter remaining all the departments. How to keep only 10th department is go to what? Department number, basic or advanced now? Basic. Why? Because
Basic.
equal to condition.
Basic.
Select what? 10. Press OK. When I press OK, department number equal to 10. How many employees are there? 10. So to show this 10th department employees, can I get it using advanced? Yes. Go to what? Number filters equals to what? 10. This also will give the same. Let me tell you an important point, simple and important point. When you write any filter condition in the Power Query, that filter condition will check for every row in the table. What it will do? Filter condition will check for each and every row. If you have 15 rows, this condition will check for how many times? 15 times. Each time when it checks this filter condition, so the rows where the filter condition is true, it will keep them. The rows where the filter condition is false, it will filter them. What it will do? This condition, what you written, check for every row. If condition become true, you will have that record. If condition become false, what happens? Filter the record, right? Go and take the first row. What is the department number? 10 will come here. 10 equals to 10. True or false? True. Will it keep it or filter it? It will keep it. It will keep it. It will keep it. Okay, it will keep it. So take the second row also, it will keep it or not? Third row, keep it. Go to fourth row. What is the department number you will get? 20. 20 equals to 10.
No.
Will it keep it? It will filter. It will filter. When I go and press OK, it is showing only how many rows? 3 rows. Why it is showing only 3 rows? Condition become true for only what? 3 rows. Okay, like that. Remove this. Now my requirement is I need to show employees only whose salary is equal to 3,000. Salary is equal to what? 3,000. As it is equal to condition, I can do it in basic also. If you think that you have more values, go to what? Advanced. Click on what? Equals to what? 3,000. What it will do means, whatever the condition you written here, it will check for what? Every row. For how many rows condition is true, it will keep it. For rows, it will filter it. When I go and press OK, how many rows it become true? Only 2 rows. Remaining rows are what? False. Remove this. Now, I want to show only the employees whose salary is not equal to 3,000. I need to show all the employees whose salaries is what? Not equal to 3,000. Can I do it in the basic? Not recommended. You need to go with what? Advanced. Number filter?
Advanced.
Does not equal to how much? 3,000. When I press OK, you go and see, do you see any employees who have salaries 3,000? No, you don't see it. Like this, simple options case. So to understand this data much better, in EMP table, let me sort the data based on salary column. Select the salary column. For data understanding purpose only, I want to sort the employees whose salaries is less, low salaries on the top, highest salaries on the bottom. How can you sort the salaries is? Select the salary column. Go to where? Home tab. There is an option called what? Sort Ascending order is there, descending order is there. You need to choose what? Ascending. So that you are seeing lowest salaries on the top, highest salaries on the bottom. For understanding purpose only, I sorted it. So let's take an example. In the employee table, I need to show only the employees whose salaries is less than 1,000, less than 3,000. Salaries less than what? 3,000. How many employees have salaries less than 3,000? How many employees have salaries less than 3,000?
11.
11 employees have salaries less than 3,000. Less than 3,000. 11 employees have salaries less than 3,000. So if you want to show only out of 15 employees, I need to show only what? 11. What you need to, out of 15, 11 means subset. What do you need to use? Filter. Go to which column? Salary. Basic or advanced? Advanced. Number filters? Less than 3,000. When I press OK, you can see only how many employees now? 11 employees. Remove the filter one more time. This time I want to see the employees whose salaries are less than or equal to 3,000. Less than or equal to 3,000. How many employees have salaries less than or equal to 3,000?
13 members.
13. I want to see the 13 employees. Self-explanatory. Go to salary column. Number filters. Which one?
Less than
Less
or
than or
equal.
equal to how much?
3,000.
How many employees will get this time?
13.
13 employees. 13 employees. 13 employees. Now, I want to see the employees whose salaries are greater than 3,000. Which one? Greater than 3,000. How many employees have salaries greater than 3,000? 2 employees. If you want to see that only 2 employees, go to number filters. This time what? Greater than how much? 3,000. Click on what? Okay. You will see only what? 2 employees whose salaries are greater than 3,000. Let's say I want to see the employees whose salaries are greater than or equal to 3,000. Greater than or equal to 3,000. How many employees are there? 4 employees. Go here, number filters. This time what? Greater than or equal to, what is the number? 3,000. It is self-explanatory, guys. How many values? How many employees are there? 4. So whatever the options I discussed so far, they are simple. Equals to, does not equals to, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. Next one, between. So sometimes to get the requirement, we need to write more than one condition. Write that point. Let's write one important point here. What is the important point is, so far I given all the examples where you written only one filter condition. How many filter conditions? One filter condition. Sometimes we need to write how many filter conditions? 2 filter conditions. How many filter conditions you need to write? 2 filter conditions. You need to write to get the requirement. So previous scenarios, salary equal to 3,000, only one condition. Salary not equal to 3,000, only one condition. Salary less than 3,000, only one condition. Less than or equal to 3,000, only one condition. Previous all the scenarios, I get the requirement by applying only one condition. There are some times to get the requirement, we need to write what? More than one condition. 2 conditions, 3 conditions. So this is the important one. So whenever we need to get the requirement by writing more than one condition, let's say I want to write 2 conditions. When you want to write 2 conditions to get the requirement, must and should we need to choose either or logical function or either we need to choose what? And logical function. Let me tell you a requirement. When we need to write 2 filter conditions, the requirement is show the employees where department number equals to 10 along with department number equal to 20. Department number equal to what? 20. What I need to show? I need to show the employees whose department number equal to what? 10 along with what? 20. How many conditions you need to write now? 2. First condition is what? Department number 10. Second condition is what? Department number 20. Whenever we need to write 2 conditions, as per the result we want, sometimes the result what you are expecting or logical function will give. Sometimes the result what you are expecting and logical function will give. Developer need to have the knowledge whether I need to use what? Or logical function or whether I need to use what? And logical function. Simple. Client only tell what they want. This time, my client is telling that in the employee table, what are the department employees they required? They required what? 10th department, how many employees? 3 employees. 20th department, how many employees? 5 employees. 5. 3 plus 5? 8 employees I want. Total. This is the output they are expecting. So to get this requirement, how many conditions I need to write? 2 conditions. So while I was writing 2 conditions, must and should, we need to choose either or, we need to choose either and. So now just tell me here, one easiest way to get it is unselect 10, 20. Why? Because what conditions you are writing? Equal to, right? Equal to, you can do it in basic filtering easily. One easy way to get it is go here, select 10, 20. When I press OK, how many employees you are getting? 8. Okay, leave it about basic. Now I want to go with advanced and get it. Someone tell me, guys, how to get the same result using advanced. Go to where? Number filters, click on what? Equals to. When you go to advanced, again you have basic and advanced. Try to understand. In the advanced filtering, again you have what? Basic, advanced. I'll tell you. When you go to advanced filtering, again you will have what? One basic and one advanced. When to go with basic and when to go with advanced, you will understand. What happens? Someone is unmuted. What? Any questions? Oh. So when you go to advanced filtering here, again we'll have what? Basic and advanced. I'll tell you when to go with basic and when to go with what? Advanced. We'll see that. Leave it about it. For now, go with what? Basic only. Now my requirement is I want to show 10th department, 20th department. Go to equals to. Select what? 10. Second condition is what? Equals 20. Whenever we need to write 2 conditions, must and should, we need to choose either and or either we need to choose what? Or. You guys tell me under or no. Anyway, I'll discuss.
Or.
But most of the people need to have the knowledge about this. I want to just check before I tell whether it is under or. I want to know your knowledge, whether you know correctly or not. You guys tell me under or.
And.
Under or.
And.
Under or.
Or.
And.
Or.
Okay. So most of the people said and. Some people said or. Let's see which one is correct. When I go with and, how many records you want? 8, right? When I go with and, when I press OK, how many records you are getting? 0 records. That means and is what? Wrong. And is wrong. Go and click on the settings. I can go with what? Or when I press OK, how many records you got? 8. Which one is correct here? Or why R is giving 8 records? Why and is not giving 8 records, 0 records? That you need to have. Don't just blindly learn it. Let me tell you guys. So I'll quickly tell you now how OR logical function will work, how AND logical function will work. First, I'll explain about what? OR logical function. So how OR logical function will work is condition 1, condition 2, result. So when you write 2 conditions, how many probabilities you will have is when you write only one condition, a condition will become either true, a condition will become either a false. When you write only one condition, how many probabilities you will have? 2. True means show it, false means filter it. When you write 2 conditions, how many probabilities you will have? 4. How many probabilities you will have? 4. First 2 conditions will become what? True. Second probability is what? First condition might become true. Second condition might become what? False. Third probability is what? False. True. Last probability is what? False. So here, when you write 2 conditions, the probabilities are 4 probabilities. That probabilities will work differently for OR logical function. That probabilities will work differently for what? Logical functions. You guys need to have an idea how they will work for OR logical function, how they will work for what? AND logical function. So in OR logical function, even both conditions are true. One condition is true, it will return true. If both conditions are false, then only it will return false. You guys tell me, true will return what?
Yes.
True. True, false?
True.
True. False, true? True. False, false? False. In OR logical function, even one condition is true, it will return true. All are false, then it will return what? False. OR logical function will show the records in how many scenarios? 3 true means it will show. False means filter. R will between condition 1 and condition 2, you taken what now? R will show the records in 3 scenarios. Filter the record in only one scenario. When both conditions are false, please be on mute, guys. Please be on mute. That is about what? Or logical function. Now, AND logical function. In AND logical function, if all conditions are true, then only true. Otherwise, it is false. True, true will return what? True, false, true, false,
False.
false, false, true,
False.
false,
And false.
false, false, false. Blindly remember like this. Or logical function, any one condition true, it will return what? True. Even any one condition true, it will return true. All condition false, it will return what? False. That you remember. And the logical function will return true only when all conditions are true. Otherwise, it will return what? False. That point you remember. That is sufficient now. So here we know how our logical function will work, how AND logical function will work. So initially you used AND logical function, right? Why AND logical function don't give record? I'll tell you. Go to number filters equals to. You guys choose department number equal to what? 10, and you choose and department number equals to what? 20. When you write any conditions here, I said that the conditions will check for every row. Will check for what? Every row. So take the first row. First row, what is the department number you will get? 10. 10 equals to 10, true or false? True. 10 equals to 20, true or false? False. Here, when you take and, true, false will return what? False. False means filter. Do you want to filter this record or show it? Show it. And will show? No. Which one will show? Or. So first you need to decide. A single row need to satisfy both the condition or any one condition. Only to choose whether it is or whether it is and. Only what you need to check is a single row need to satisfy both the conditions or any one condition. If it is any one condition, we need to choose or. If it need to satisfy both the conditions, we need to choose and. You guys tell me, a single row need to satisfy both the conditions or any one condition? Any one condition. Then we need to choose what? Or. Both conditions means and. So unfortunately, no row will satisfy both the conditions. That is the reason when I choose and, what? How many records you are getting? 0 records. When I go with what? Or when I press OK, how many records you are getting? 8. So one of the conditions it satisfied 8 rows. So you tell me, or will give more records or and will give more records? Or why? Because more truths are available in where? Or less truths are available in where? And will give less records. Okay, let me tell you another scenario. We got one example here. In between these two, we used what? I'll complete the class in another 2 minutes, guys. Now, another requirement is show the employees where salaries between 1,000 and 3,000. 1,000 and I want my requirement is go to this employee table, remove this filter, go to the salary column, sort it in ascending order for time being, for understanding purpose. I need to show only the employees whose salaries are between 1,000 and 3,000. Salaries are between what? 1,000 and 3,000. How many employees are there? 11. How many employees are there? 11 employees have salaries between what? 1,000 and 3,000. I want to show that salaries between 1,000 and 3,000, meaning is salaries starting from salaries greater than or equal to what? 1,000. Salaries less than or equal to what? 3,000.
3,000.
So starting from the 1,000 till 3,000 I want. That is the meaning for what? Salaries between 1,000 and 3,000. Starting from the 1,000 till 3,000. That is the meaning. Now, how to show that is? You need to filter data based on which column? Salary. Go here, number filters. There is an option called what? Between. When I select the between, here also, greater than or equal to from where? 1,000. Less than or equal to where? 3,000. How many conditions you are writing here? 2 conditions. You need to choose either under or here. So first point is a single row need to satisfy any one condition or both conditions. That you need to decide. Now I need to choose what? Either and, or I need to choose what? Either or. On what basis you will choose this? If a single row need to satisfy both the conditions, then you need to choose and. If a single row need to satisfy any one condition, then we need to choose what? Or. As per our requirement, see, you will have only 2 types of requirement. A row need to satisfy both the conditions or any one condition. This time, this is my requirement. I set the requirement. As per this requirement, you write the filter condition. This filter conditions, a single row need to satisfy both the conditions or any one? Both the conditions. Must and should, it should be greater than or equal to what? 1000. Must and should, it should be less than or equal to what? 3000. If you go with R, any one, are you getting the right result?
No.
No. Any one means by default, these two conditions, one condition will satisfy. Every record will satisfy. That is not the right requirement here. What is that? And when I go with and, am I seeing only between 1000 and 3000? How many employees are there? 11. Simple guys. When any one condition satisfy, you want the record or logical function. If both conditions satisfy, if you want the record, and look, tomorrow's class also, I'll give a lot of examples about or and that's so try to understand today at a high level. This is what today's class is. I explain. Applying the multiple filter conditions on what? Same column, two conditions, when to use or logical and when to use what? And logical. Tomorrow's class also, I'll give a lot of other examples about or and. Tomorrow's complete 1 hour, we'll talk about what? Filters only. Any questions from today's class?
Yes, Sunil,